Hey guys, this is Tauna, and today we're going to be doing two things. We're going to be celebrating our 10k by opening up this Lord of the Rings box. I'm going to get a One Ring from this, and then the One Ring is going to get banned tomorrow. You watch. And, celebrating basically, 10,000 subscribers with doing this. I also wanted to kind of talk a little bit about if Lord of the Rings is kind of worth opening. And honestly, I think if you can get it at a discounted price, I wouldn't go paying the 400 Australian dollars or whatever it is nowadays to be able to get a box. I think I got this one for 280 or something. They had like a sale on eBay. If you don't know, eBay has some amazing sales. I'm going to talk about, this I think is one of the best sets that you can pick up, especially as a newer player, for Commander. There is just a lot of really, really great stuff in here that you can make use of in so many different decks and everything. So I kind of wanted to, open this up for myself, for my own kind of collection, as well as, just show you guys. So in each pack, you do get a Relic and Realms box topper, which is going to be basically like a reskinned print. A different one. I opened one up with one of my friends because we did a box brawl from it. And in that, we got the Ozolith, which, was great. I was pretty happy with that. So we've got, actually, this is a great one. We've got the Sword of Hearth and Home. So this is the green-white one that is whenever you deal combat damage, exile one target, and then search your library for a basic, and then put both onto the battlefield. Put both onto the battlefield. Doesn't even enter tap. So this is just ramp as well. Oh, man. I actually don't know which deck I want to use this in. Right? Like, it could go into my Captain America deck, maybe? Yeah, maybe. I don't know. That's really good. All right. I do have something cool as well to show, but I can't actually use it on camera because it's too big. So this is one of the coolest things I've got. It is for sorting out your cards. So it sits on your desk and you can it's got the 15 different slots for it. It is just so great for sorting out cards. I absolutely love it. I have used it basically daily since I got it. So let's open up our first pack. We've got a Human Soldier token. So we've got tokens within here. We've got Golem, and now rare here is the Moria Marauder. Whenever a Goblin or Orc you control deals combat damage, exile the top card of your library. So it's impulse draw from doing that. Long List of the Ends is a very interesting card. It needs to be a creature type, so you need a whole bunch of different creature types with it. Entish Restoration, that is really useful for a lot of ramp decks, especially if you've got big creatures. Quick Beam is not super great. Shire Terrace, I can always use more of those. Good kind of, essentially like Evolving Wild kind of thing. Except it can also tap for colorless, which is nice. And then, we've got full art basic lands. I'm not a huge fan of the basic lands or the full art basic lands from the Lord of the Rings set. I just don't really like the whole map thing. Maybe if I build a deck around them or something like that, maybe. We've got Ballistic Boulder. We've got the Shire Scarecrow here. Defender that makes mana. And the Shire. That's actually really useful as well. Enters untapped if you control a legendary, and then you can tap an untapped creature you control to create food for 1 and a green. Kind of like the Gilded Goose kind of thing. And we're going to be able to make a nice... we've got that Legolas twice. So in our box brawl, I actually ran Legolas and Gimli as two commanders, partner commanders, which is really, really fun. If you don't know what a box brawl is, essentially the way we did it at least was we took the whole box, split it into 3. You can split it into 4. We just split it into 3 because there was, 3 of us. And then you build a deck from them, and you're building a commander deck. So we've got Eowyn. This is the one that gives first strike and vigilance or something and extra if it's equipped. I don't know if I've got that in my Captain America deck or not yet. And then we've got the Pippin, which gives something protection from a card type of your choice. Really, really nice. That's actually, if I don't have that in my Cap deck, it's 100% going in. Full up Many Pairings. Many Pairings is an interesting, tutor to your hand, basic land, and then you gain a food. Gandalf Sanction. there's a few different decks that I had that needed something like that. So what I'm looking for at the moment is obviously One Ring. I'll 100% take a One Ring. The Orcish Bowmasters as well. But what I really love is the Palantir's thing. The Palantir's thing's really cool. So this is, what is it? Fact or fiction, except it also tempts you, I believe. You got the Frodo, the green-white Frodo. When it or another legendary enters, the ring tempts you, and then as long as Frodo is your ring bearer, it must be blocked if able. That's interesting as well, because doesn't the ring give, like, the ring bearer give unblockable under certain circumstances? That Uglock, I think I wanted to add that into my currently working on, what's her face? Deck. I can't remember what her name is now. These lands are really nice, or at least I really like the Grey Havens, especially if you've got graveyard stuff in it. They work really well, because you're going to be able to, you know, make use of them a lot. You're going to have a lot of, you know, legendaries potentially in your graveyard and stuff. We've got Orc. We've got the Battle Scarred Goblin there. Frodo, Sauron's Bane. I don't know about this one. I don't think I've ever seen this Frodo in a game with someone. I don't even know what it'd make use of for the Shire. Full art Mirkwood Bats as well. I can always use more Mirkwood Bats. Mirkwood Bats is amazing. If you're running any token-based black deck, you're going to be wanting it. Overall, though, this deck, like this set, has just such great cards for so many different archetypes. So, you know, you've got a Beetlebear here. He's got food stuff. So if you're putting a food deck or a life gain deck, it's going to be great for it. Fall of Gil-galad, scry 2, then put 2+1s on a creature you control, then give a target creature. When this creature dies, draw 2 cards, then it fights. So you could put this onto like a token as well. Like a 1/1 token, have it fight something, it dies, draw 2 cards. March of the Ents, that is really great too. Oh man. That's going to go straight into my, what's his face? My new loot deck. This is a crazy card. You can draw cards equal to the greatest toughness among creatures you control. Then you get to put any number of creatures from your hand onto the battlefield. Really great. 8 cost. But like it costs 8, but it's worth it. Rising of the Day, used in a lot of decks. We've got, that's not even bad either. Like 1, untap something, give it +1/+3 and flying. So like in a budget Sergeant John Benton deck, that's going to be great. You got a Flicker with a Slip of the Ring. You're going to exile something, then return it, then the ring tempts you as like the bonus there. Birthday Escape, draw a card, ring tempts you. Not too bad. The ring tempts you, I think, is probably the only reason that I'd be like cautious about this for a newer player, just because it is a bit of a funky kind of mechanic. We've got food, we've got Frodo, we've got Shadow of the Enemy. Exile all creatures from target player's graveyard. You may cast spells from among them. And you can pay any mana of any type can be spent to cast them. That is a big, like, theft card. We've got Samwise, we've got Nasty End, Arwen. The other Arwen would be great as well. I don't know if I can. I'm pretty sure you can get the commander cards in here. If I could get some of the commander cards, that would be great. We've got Orc Army, we've got an Oliphant. Elven Chorus, that as well is another amazing card. I just need to adjust the zoom here because it's being a bit funky. So this is, you can look at the top card of your deck and then you can play creatures from it. You can just, whoops, this one here, and you can tap all your creatures for mana. A great kind of big card that you can use there for. There we go. That's a better zoom. You know, being able to cast things from the top is always great. And then also just the extra mana, like being able to tap everything for mana is great. This Shire Sheriff, I feel, is a very interesting card. So it's got removal and then also has, like, you need to sacrifice a token to be able to do it, though. Yeah, it's kind of, I don't know. I find it interesting. Not necessarily a good card, but still a usable card, I think. All right. Oh, we got the, why is that? Oh, no, it's not back to front. All right. Lost to Legend. Oh, there we go. Palantir of Orthonak. All right, Lost to Legend, which is, this is cool as well because it doesn't exile it and it doesn't like destroy it. It's just put it fourth from the top. So it's a very interesting removal. Can get around a lot of things. Palantir of Orthonak. I needed so many of these. And now that I see it, I don't even know what deck I want to use it in. You can scry 2, then target opponent may have you draw a card. If they don't, you mill X cards, where X is the number of influence counters on it, and then they lose life equal. Maybe, I know what this could go into. What's her face? Aminatu, definitely. That's going to be great in my Aminatu deck, actually. Yeah, I'm really happy. So that was one of the cards that I was definitely kind of looking for there. I can always use more of them. There's like a few different decks that I want them for. Like I'm building, my wife wanted me to build the Tomb Raider deck. What's her face? Or Gandalf the White, give all our legendaries and artifact spells flash, and then a legendary entering or leaving, cause a trigger, triggers an additional time. We've got Shadowfax as well. When he attacks, you can put a creature card with lesser value onto the battlefield tapped and attacking. So a very nice, like white, like a Boros cheat out for aggro deck. Yeah, overall, there's lots of tokeny support throughout here. Lots of +1 support as well, which is nice. You can always use, more +1 support. Some very interesting mechanics in regards to it being like, they've got some interesting like counters in here, like Reprieve, I believe, is in here, which is like a white counterspell. Sting, the Glinting Dagger. This is really great because it untaps the equipped creature at each combat. So it's kind of like a pseudo vigilance because it untaps at each combat, so each opponent's combat as well. Pseudo vigilance kind of thing, which is nice. So let's have a look. Let's go through this one. Bring that one back. Bring these two back over here. So going through them. We've got a equipment that has flash and also attaches to a creature when it enters, gives +1/+2 on reach, which is nice. They're not necessarily all going to be the best of things because that's, a common. So press the enemy is return target spell to someone's hand, and then you get to cast a instant or sorcery with equal or lesser amount of value. So if you return a, say, 6 cost, right? Use this to return a 6 cost. You get to cast a 6 cost from your hand for free for the cost of 4. Sting, I already talked about. Merry is very specific to this set because of the fact that he does need halflings. He can proc himself though, so technically he can create a food. But if you've got other halflings in there, the halflings are great for food anyway. So if you're building a food deck, we've got Scry, and there's like legendary matters stuff. Scry matters, some fight spells. This is just a pseudo kind of, not a removal, but well, I guess it's a removal because it keeps hitting someone, but it also nerfs the heck out of that creature. Return someone to someone's hand, and while the ring tempts you isn't the best of mechanics in my opinion, it's a bit clunky. It is still a relatively strong mechanic. All right. Oh, we got one from the list here. Wake of Destruction. Destroy target land and all lands with the same name as that land. That's what you use that on someone's basic or their command tower and then remove everyone's command tower. We've got Minds of Moria here with a very nice kind of, if you're running like a red deck, like pure red, or even if you're not running a pure red, even if you're just, running a 2-color deck or something, this could be a nice kind of red card in it. Call of the Ring's nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you, and then whenever you choose a creature as your ring bearer, you can pay 2 life and draw a card. So that's kind of like draw a card for 2 life at the each upkeep, as well as the ring tempts you, and you get all the procs from that. Voracious Felbeast, the Saruman. So they've got some stuff in here which is like amass as well, which is creating tokens. So therefore they've got some token matters-y kind of stuff. Specifically, I believe within Dimir, Actually, no, white cared about tokens as well because that cares about food. So, you got the food stuff there. And you've also got Shelob, and she's the hottest character in all of Lord of the Rings. So, we got Morher. He cares about armies, goblins, or orcs for +1s. Elrond, Master of Healing. So he's about scrying and stuff like that. You've got some elfy kind of stuff in here, but most of the elves, I don't believe, really cared about elves. Saradoc cares about non-tokens with power 2 or less. Create a halfling. And then you can tap your halflings to give him +2 and a lifelink. Prince Emif, he's really useful in card draw decks, which is a lot of decks, to be honest. Rising the Day, I talked about already. Haste. And then also +1 to legendaries. Gimli, whenever a creature dies, an opponent controls dies, deal 1 damage to that opponent. That's really nice. A nice kind of lockdown for white. A mana dork that also can buff things up for 7. That's not too bad. Not the best. Don't get me wrong, it's not the best, but it's still not too bad. It's not too bad. Even the commons and, uncommons in here aren't too bad. Oh, okay. We've got another list card here. Battleflight Eagle. When it enters the battlefield, target creature gains +2/+2 and flying. We've got that one. We've got Aragorn, Company Leader. Whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than him as your ring bearer, put your choice of First Strike, Vigilance, or Death Strike, or lifelink counters on him. And then also, whenever he gains a counter, you put 1 counter of those kinds on up to 1 target creature. So if he gains any counter, if he gains a +1, put a +1 on something else. If he gains a lifelink counter, put some on something else. Really cool. I don't know if as I said, I don't know if we can actually get the what's his face cards in here, the commander cards. I haven't seen one so far, I don't believe, unless I'm going bonkers. Oh, they might be rare as well. So we've got Tentacle here, Voracious. We've got the Mines of Moria again. Really great. Really great red card. Gron the Gatebreaker. As long as it's your turn and you control an army, it's an artifact creature. Oh, interesting. Very, very cool. So you've got the army mechanic as well, which is potentially going to see some love within the upcoming set. Oh, another list card. Pitiless Horde. At the beginning of your upkeep, you lose 2 life. And then it's got dash. So you meant to, I believe, dash this out. And then that way you don't have it at the beginning of your upkeep because it returns back to your hand. Slip on the Ring. Lobbyer Sackville Baggins. When it enters, exile target creature card from a opponent's graveyard that was put there this turn. Then create treasures. You get to create treasures with that. I'm just looking for the LTC cards if there is any. I might be going crazy about that. So I thought they were in here, but potentially not. Either way, the actual set is really banging too. All right, we've got Samwise, which is whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield, create a food, and then you can sack 3 foods to return a historic from your graveyard to the hand. Denethor is great as well. Because you get to repeatedly create soldiers in an aristocrat deck, and then you can also sack those soldiers or whatever other creature tokens you have to make people lose life and gain life. Old Man Willow. When you attack, sacrifice a creature or token. If you do, target creature gets an opponent gets -2 until end of turn. You can only do that once, unfortunately. Strider, landfall, get +1 on target creature, and then if it's 4 or above, get First Strike. Destroy target creature for 3, and the ring tempts you, so you get extra bonus from that. Nice. Alright. Alright, we're about halfway through. As I said, this was my present for myself for hitting 10k, so, we'll see how the video goes, if people like it. Oh, yes! Sauron the Dark Lord. That was one of the other ones that I was looking for here. So he is Ward sack a legendary artifact or creature. So even if someone wants to interact with him, they need to sack a legendary for it. Whenever an opponent casts a spell, amass 1. When an army you control deals combat damage to a player, the ring tempts you, and then when the ring tempts you, you can discard your whole hand, and if you do, draw 4. I don't even know how I'm going to build that. Like, I guess graveyard kind of recursion and stuff. Rosie Cotton's not too bad either, because she's whenever a token enters, put a +1 on another creature you control other than Rosie. And it's whenever you create a token, not whenever you create one or more tokens. So if you're creating, 5 tokens in a turn, like, you're making a rabbit, what's it called? Heir Apparent deck. You're making a Heir Apparent deck. That is really great. All right, here's the ring. So here's how the ring tempts you works. The ring can tempt you even if you don't control a creature. The ring gains its abilities from the top to bottom. Once it gains an ability, it has it for the rest of the game. So the ring is like a separate kind of thing that just sits off here, and it has that ability for the rest of the game. Each time the ring tempts you, you must choose a creature if you control one. So you're going to choose a creature each time. Each player can have only one emblem named the ring and only one ring bearer. So these are the abilities. The ring bearer is legendary. It can't be blocked by creatures with greater power. Whenever you attack, draw a card, then discard a card. Then, whenever it becomes blocked by a creature, that creature's controller sacrifices it at the end of combat. And then, if it deals combat damage to someone, each opponent loses 3 life. So you gain these abilities essentially as like a passive on whatever creature you've chosen as your ring bearer, one after the other. So once you get down to ring tempts you 4 times, you've got all of these abilities here. Really, really cool. All right, we got Bilbo. We got Isildur's Fateful Strike. So I have not seen a legendary instant before. Destroy target creature. If its controller has more than 4 cards in hand, they exile cards from the hand equal to the difference. That is a very nice graveyard, hand hate card. So you're destroying a creature and then also making someone exile cards. Saruman. Oh, here we go. We do have the LTC. So if you can see down here, LTC. So he works really well with that other, the other one that I just pulled then, Sauron. They have very similar names. So whenever you cast a non-creature, amass X, and then goblins and orcs you control have ward 2. Golem, Patient, Plotter. Yeah, so like this is just extra bonuses whenever you cast an instant or sorcery. So if you're making like a Grixis Spellslinger, he would be not too bad in it. If you're making sack stuff, and there's Reprieve. Return target spell to its owner's hand. This is a white counterspell, essentially. They do get to keep the card, goes back into their hand, but it is a white counterspell. And then you draw a card as well, so it replaces itself in your hand. Really, really cool. I love it. Reprieve is one of those cards that I think more people need to find out about because it's just a great card. Oh, another... This is a weird... So this is a land that taps for colorless, but when it enters, scry 1. So it's like a colorless temple. That's interesting. We got Fangorn, Tree Shepherd. Tree folk have vigilance. Whenever one or more tree folk at you control attack, add twice that much green. And if you don't lose unspent green mana as steps and phases end. Aragorn the Uniter in the full treatment. Really cool. Samwise. Actually, I really love that. I was considering building a Doctor deck, like a Doctor Who deck, with him as the commander. Now that I got that, maybe. Aragorn the Uniter is a pretty good freaking card. A really good card. All right, so we've got an Orc army. We've got Ithilin, Kingfisher. We've got Legolas there. Assault on Osgiliath. Which Legolas is that? Oh, that's whenever you cast a spell that targets it, put a +1 on it. If you cast a spell that can target a creature you don't control, deals damage equal to it. So I was considering this for my Wolverine deck, actually. I might have even got it in my Wolverine deck already because it just makes it so that the Wolverine, each time you're using like your fight spells, you've got Legolas like double tapping them as well. And if you put like a Basilisk collar on him, then everything's just going to be dead. We've got Food Token, Miramir Guardian. Not super useful. All right. Radagast. When him or another non-token creature you control enters the battlefield under your control, look at the top X of your library, where X is that creature's mana value. You can reveal a creature card that doesn't share a creature type with a creature you control from those and put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. That's a very interesting, like, green rampish kind of card. Like, I don't know what deck I would use that in. Like, I was thinking about my loot deck originally, but loot doesn't necessarily want things in my hand unless I'm going to have something that allows me to dump things from my hand too, which I technically do in my loot deck. Like, I've got, what's it called? I can't even think of it. Goldberry thickest. Look at that art. They did not need to make Goldberry that thick, but they did. For no reason. She's amazing. I love her. I don't even know, like, I considered making a Goldberry deck just because I love that art so much, but I don't even know what type of deck I would make with it. Great Hall of the Citadel is not too bad either if you're making, like, got legendary out, because, or if you want to cast a legendary, because you just pay 1 and then you get 2 mana, so you kind of just still going mana positive from it. It can only be spent to cast, legendaries, but it can kind of help mana fix you if you've got, like, a 3-color, 4-color deck that's got, like, legendaries within it, or you've got you got to have a few legendaries in it, don't get me wrong, but yeah. All right, we got another Sauron. Oh my god. All right. We've got Eowyn. I haven't got her yet. I actually have a budget deck for her up if you guys want to go check it out under my members stuff. A Flicker deck with her, which is very cool. Rise of the Witch King is such a great card for, like, green, like Golgari sacrifice / like reanimation decks. I'm considering adding one into my Merrin deck at the moment. Unfortunately, let me just check. Yeah, they just need to sacrifice a creature. It's not sacrifice non-token. That's the issue I have with some of those things, is if it's just sacrifice a creature, Tom Bombadil. If it's just sacrifice a creature, then people just sacrifice, their, like, tokeny stuff. We got a foil Shire, which is nice. Battle of Bywater, Lash of Belrog, Theoden. If you want to make, like, a human tribal deck, definitely great. Shortcut to Mushrooms is weird. If something left the battlefield this turn, put a +1 on a creature. So I guess, like, this will proc off of tokens. So if you, and token artifacts as well. So if a food left the battlefield, that will proc, which is nice. Fire Inscription, amazing in a lot of Spellslinger decks. All right, next pack I open, I'm going to go through each card and I'm going to say, like, what kind of deck that I would look at it for, just to kind of show that I do think that this is one of the best commander sets that you could buy. It is, as I said, a little bit more on the pricey side, but at the moment I think it's one of the best. In regards to sets that you can pick up now that aren't, like, insanely expensive, I'm not talking like Modern Horizons or something. All right, so Samwise. If you are in a Flicker or Graveyard Recursion deck or Self-Mill White deck, this is going to work well for you. It's just choose one target permanent card in your graveyard that was put there from the battlefield this turn. So it doesn't need to be this turn, and it doesn't need to be from the battlefield. So it can't be Self-Mill, I guess. So I guess Aristocrat decks. So you put it back into your hand. Aristocrat decks would work well with it. I guess, sacrifice decks as well, which is, I guess, Aristocrats, or like combat-based deck. It's not too bad either. I've got this in my pod deck as well. It works well in pod deck, but I guess that's kind of sacrifice. Wages the Ithilien. So when it enters, gain control of one target creature with power less than it for as long as you control this. Then the ring tempts you. Oh, okay. Okay, so you gain control of that permanently. So it's not even you gain control of it until the end of turn. You gain control of it permanently. It can be anything. So it can be someone's any creature, can be someone's commander or something as well, and they can't stop this. And also the ring tempts you as well as an added little bonus there. Paragon, any token based deck could use this, like especially if you're building what's his face, the rabbit dude from Balin. Balin works really well with this, as well as food decks, obviously. Mary, I'd probably only want to use him in a food deck, but I guess he could go into like a Balin deck as well, as long as you get the proc from himself. Bilbo, when he enters or leaves, the ring tempts you. When he deals combat damage to a player, create a treasure token. So in red, blue, so you're looking at like combat though and spellslingery stuff, because you don't you don't want him to leave the battlefield forever. You just want to kind of like flicker him or something. And also like post combat. So something like Gossip's Talent would work really well with him. And yeah, just be overall great. Barrow Blade, when it blocks or becomes blocked by a creature, that creature loses all its abilities until end of turn. Nice way to shut things down. Especially it stops Death Touch. So like a combat based, like a Voltron deck could use that to stop kind of Death Touch stopping you. As well as just like, it also would remove like Indestructible or something. If you've got a way to be able to flash this out and equip it, removing Indestructible would be really great with that. Fires of Orthonak, destroy target artifact or land. Creatures without flying can't block this turn. So you got to have flying for it, really? Like, you want to make use of that second part, otherwise it's kind of useless, but it's kind of like a worse a braid, I guess, but you can destroy a land with it too, which is nice. Cast Into the Fire. I'm thinking of like, what's her face? Judith, the Judith from MKM, because you deal 1 damage to each, and then she also gives them Death Touch on lifelink, so you can just destroy 2 creatures with that. You can also exile target artifact with it. This is the answer to the One Ring. Exile target artifact, it destroys the One Ring, because the One Ring's indestructible. Smite the Deathless, deal 3 damage, loses indestructible. If it would die this turn, exile it. Like a lightning bolt that does some extra stuff. Greyhaven's Navigator enters scry 1. That's just any kind of like, this is probably like scry elves, or just a scry based deck would work with them. All right, we got what, 3, 4 more here. Okay, so Wall of Denial, a list card there. Fear Fire and Foes. We've got another Sting, which is nice. Fear Fires and Foes again. Damage can't be prevented. It deals X damage to target creature and 1 damage to each other creature with the same controller. We've got Gandalf, which makes it so that we can make sorceries have flash, as well as when the ring tempts you. If you choose someone other than him as your ring bearer, draw a card. So you want ring tempts you stuff with this to get this second part. Otherwise, sorceries just have flash. You could just use any other thing that gives that. So you kind of want some ring tempts you stuff in your deck to go alongside that. Maybe like a Dimir ring tempts you, or what's his face? The Sauron that I was just looking at just before. I think it's 3 different Sauron cards. All right, human token. We got, Dreadful as the Storm, target creature has pace power 5/5. The ring tempts you. This could either nerf something or, buff up your own creature. EMR. This is really nice in a Legendary Matters deck, as long as you're sacking something in combat. Because you sack it, get that additional combat. And then you can sack something else, like another Legendary next combat. Mirkwood Bats is always useful. That Grond, I don't even know what to make use of that, because you need armies for it. Maybe that goes into my Sauron deck that I'll build as well. We've got 0 of? We've got 0 of the Nazgul so far. 0 Nazgul, which is helpful. Prototype Portal. Okay, when it enters, exile an artifact from my hand, pay X, put a token that's a copy of that card onto the battlefield. X is its converted mana cost. That's funky. So you can get the card out repeatedly, the artifact, the XR repeatedly, but if someone removes this, you're screwed. So I guess they just don't need to use it on the artifact. They can just use it on this card instead. All right. We've got War of the... This is amazing. This is a tutor. So it tutors up a legendary twice to hand. Costs 4. This is like... Oh, man. Maybe I should make a video about absolute bangers from this set, because that is an absolute banger, and I don't think it's too expensive. Gothmog. This is obviously to do with a mass, and then creature tokens you control have Death Touch as well, which is nice. You know what I really want? I really want a... What is it? Call of the Palisade or whatever. Return all things that aren't a creature type to your hand. To the player's hands. Another. Oh, wow. Okay. I think this is actually a freaking expensive card. Elvish Champion. Right? Yeah, this is like a $14 US card. Oh, that is... Okay. Okay, that's actually insane. All right. We got Wizards Rockets. We've got Call of Andros. And there we go. We got a Nazgul. It's the last card. Or last pack. Nazgul, when it enters, ring tames you. Whenever a ring tames you, put a +1 on each Wraith. And a deck can have up to 9 Nazguls. We got Faramir, Field Commander. At the beginning of your upkeep, at the beginning of your end step, if a creature died, draw a card. And then whenever the ring tempts you, if you choose a creature other than him as your ring bearer, create a 1/1. Bit of downfall. Removal. That specifically you want to target something that already got dealt damage. So, you know, if someone's got their like big commander that like takes damage and you chump block it or something, then you can use, this is a 1 mana destroy it. And they lose 2 life as well. Deal 2 damage to any target that ring tempts you. Exile, target creature gets -2/-2. And then you can also exile it from your graveyard to make the ring tempt you. Nothing insanely amazing in this last pack besides this. Elvis Champion, the freaking Fall of Andros as well is really good. That's a really good one. And then Nazgul. Okay, so that's it. We got some nice stuff. No ring. No Orcish Bowmasters. So, you know, that kind of sucks. But we got some, you know, really nice stuff. I can't believe that Elvis Champion. I'm still really, really happy with that. You know, we got the Sora on there, which is nice. The stings are always useful. Like, I could use that in a bunch of different decks. You don't even need to read this last bit that's about, you know, goblins and orcs. Just the +1/+1 haste and the untap is just nice, like pseudo vigilance kind of thing. Yeah, I'm really happy with how that went. As I said, you know, I picked it up discounted, and if you guys can pick this up discounted, definitely kind of worth it. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about, you know, box opening packs and stuff like that. I hope you guys had a wonderful day. And thank you so much for hitting 10,000, and, you know, make sure you subscribe if you're not already. Have a great day and goodbye.